Jordana,
Yes.
first of all, welcome back to the franchise.
Thank
we missed you. I want to know, what was your feeling watching Fast and Furious 2 and 3 go by? Were you sitting there at home like, man, you know, I kind of wish I was involved in the project?
When I heard about the second one, I was like, I really want to be a part of it, and then Vin wasn't in it, so that it wouldn't really make sense for me to be in it, since I'm his sister. But I was bummed. I was really bummed because I had so much fun on the first one, and I felt like it was part of it. So yeah, and then Tokyo Drift, Justin directed, and I love Justin because he directed me in Annapolis, and so I just was watching that because I wanted to see what he did with the franchise. So it wasn't like I wasn't upset about that one. I was just curious at what he did, and I thought he did a great job.
Well, how great is it to have all of the 4 original characters reunite on this one? How was like the first day on the set, the first day that you guys did a table reading and was able to just be together?
The first day was hair and makeup test at Universal, and it was actually really nerve-wracking because I was like, I wonder if anyone's changed. I wonder if just because you never know after 8 or 6 years or however long it's been. So I was nervous. It was like my first day at school, and then after a couple of days, it was like riding a bike. We got our chemistry back, and it was great.
Well, I know you've been involved in a lot of some movies, and your fans could currently see you on Chuck on NBC. Mm-hmm. But Anna here, this was very surprising to me. Not that I didn't expect that you could do it, but that you graduated from Yale in the interim. All these things that's happened between you and other characters, like how is it to look back over the 9 years, like, wow, now we're here today, and we've done all these great things. How is that feeling?
It's cool. I think it's crazy that Vin has a baby and I'm married and Paul has a daughter, and it's cool. But I think the coolest thing is how we haven't changed. How Michelle still speaks her mind, and she's super open, and Paul's still a kid at heart, and Vin's same old Vin. So it's I think that's one thing that's really good, because I think in Hollywood a lot of it can go to your head and people can totally change, and that didn't necessarily happen in this.
Came together, it wasn't.
Why don't you tell me why you dragged me here, Brian?
You know they're gonna capture Dom. Maybe worse. I don't want you getting tangled up in this, so stay away from him.
That's what you have to say to me after 5 years? All of a sudden you care what happens to me.
What I did to you was wrong. I'm sorry. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do.
I'm sorry too, Brian. I'm so sorry that you had to come into my home and pretend to love me. I'm so sorry that you ripped my family apart. I'm very sorry that was hard for you.
Yes.
One thing I like about this picture is how the story came together. It wasn't just like you guys left for 2 and 3 and then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, what's going on?
Right.
But you guys really came back in and continued the story. Mm-hmm. What part, I know you said you worked with the director in Annapolis before, but how was it working with him, and what do you think that he brought to the project?
Justin's really painstaking in terms of the characters and story, and it's really important to him. He's not one of those directors that thinks the action or the cars is more important than that. So I know that took a lot of work on his part. And I think you can't take the audience for granted. You can't think we'll just throw a sequel at them and they'll be along for the ride and whatever. I think we really wanted to tie everything together. So Han's in this one, and it's actually the second one after the first one, and I think 2 and 3 come later. So this is really wedged in between. So I think in order to do this and to please the fans and everyone that's been loyal to the franchise, we really had to do a good job, and I think that's also why it's taken so long, and it took a while to convince some of the actors to come on board. So, and I think it shows in the end product.
It does.